Turn left. Turn left.
Hi friends, Dean here with Escape to Gaming. Today I'm going to be giving my impressions of the new Forza Horizon 2 for the Xbox 360. Now many people just think of this as an Xbox One game. They don't even realize you can get this for the Xbox 360. To me, this is the perfect send-off for the Xbox 360. I mean, I love to death the first Forza Horizon from 2012. It was one of the first reviews that I did. And I was really excited about doing that review and playing the game. I have a really high achievement score in the game. I've unlocked every car that I wanted. I put a tremendous amount of time into it. And I think the world of Forza Horizon, the first one, it's my favorite open world racing game of all time. Very arcade-like, but the handling is superb. You can quickly adjust the car to get it right up to the level it needs to be to enter each of the various events, which is nice. Or you can fine-tune it somewhat. Not to the same degree that you can like in Forza 4, let's say, or Forza 5 even. But it's really very polished. At first I thought, oh God, I wonder if this is going to be a horrible port of the Xbox One game. But actually it's a completely different development team that did the Xbox 360 ports. And it looks and plays just like you think you're playing, honestly, an extension of the first one. It's 30 frames a second. Which is capped the same as it is for the Xbox One. So because of that, the graphics look fantastic. It's very smooth, very fluid. One of the first cars that I won was a 1969 Camaro SS. I used to have a 70 SS Camaro. I never had a 69 in real life, but I've been in my friend's 69 Camaros many times, and the cockpit view looks like you're really inside a 1969 Camaro SS. The wood grain on the steering wheel, the dash, it's fantastic. I love the attention to detail that they've done in the game. It's a wonderful game. It has much more of the same that we had in the first one. They had this new bucket list challenge, which is pretty interesting, where they have these really unique challenges that you can do with certain types of cars, taking them off-road, getting from point A to point B as fast as you can, stuff like that. And it looks fantastic. It plays great. The races are nice. My only complaint with it is that some of the fun graphics that they had, like when you used to get the Speed Demon thing on the screen, they have like a little cartoon head of a Speed Demon, and it had this nice blocky italicized lettering that would say, near miss, or Speed Demon, or whatever the challenge was that you were doing at the time. And it had like an enthusiasm that was conveyed via the wonderful fonts and graphics on the heads-up display, which I miss on the first Forza Horizon. I think sadly, it's the same thing with the Xbox One version. They kind of have a much more sterile, almost like a Gran Turismo, kind of very clean letter style, which is fine. But I miss the fun of the first one, so it takes a slight hit from me in that department. That's a slight nitpick. I don't like to nitpick games. But that's my only complaint about the game so far. It looks and plays wonderful on the Xbox 360. I don't feel like I'm missing anything at all. In fact, I'm gaining something because I'm not playing the goofy drive-atars where I'm forced to drive against human AI that quite typically emulates the poor driving of other people. Not everyone is a racing expert. When I drive, I rarely make contact with other cars. It happens occasionally, unless I'm playing something like Burnout Paradise. So to me, I drive like a professional, and that's how typically, most driving game AI is. So when they have this drive-atar thing that I can't toggle off, it's a shame because this would have been a system sell. I would have gone out and spent $500 or $400 for an Xbox One just to play this. And Forza 5, but both of them have a forced drive-atar, which I just refuse to have. So sadly for me, that's my rationale. If you don't have an issue with it, that's fine. You can't beat the graphics, look fantastic. I've seen comparison shots, static shots, as well as actual gameplay footage, and the Xbox One version looks wonderful. It has a little bit more polish with the textures on the rock walls and beautiful lighting. The way the lighting gleams on the cars is a little bit more tweaked and realistic than what's in this, but this is identical, frankly, to what I've played in the first Forza Horizon. It's almost like an expansion pack or a continuation of it, so I don't feel like it's a lesser port by any means. And once you get into it, the gameplay is so smooth and so fluid, it's a wonderful experience. So this is one of the last great games probably to come out for the Xbox 360, and I'm proud to add this to my collection and put this next to my steel case, Forza Horizon 1. So I love this game to death. Leave your limits, it says in the back, and that's what's cool about it, is they kind of took some of the complaints that a few people had in the first one. They made it a more open world, kind of like Test Drive Unlimited 2. You can go off-road. Now, I'm not real big on that aspect of it. I'm all for taking the off-road vehicles and pickup trucks and launching them over, dirt roads and hills, or rally cars like the Subarus and stuff like that. I think it's cool. To me, I like to stay on the asphalt, and I don't mind cutting an occasional corner here and there to get around someone. I think is fine. So that, as long as it doesn't go overboard with some of the races taking a F40 Ferrari and then thrashing it through a grape vineyard, I mean, is not my idea of fun, but it might be for someone. This is an arcade racing game. It's kind of like a good marriage between an arcade sim and like an arcade game and a racing sim. So it's more of the same in that regard, and they did a wonderful job on it. So Turn 10 Studios that did this did a wonderful job. I'm not sure which team worked on which version of this, but it's outstanding. It looks gorgeous. The lighting looks fantastic. The clouds, the way the sun hits the dash as you rotate the car around is incredible. They really outdid themselves. It shows that it really pushes the hardware to the max on the Xbox 360. It looks fantastic. So I'm really happy to pick this up for my collection. I love the game. I'm having fun with it. I can only imagine the serious hours I can put into this one like I did the first one. So if you have an Xbox 360, don't lose hope or faith. Oh, I got to get an Xbox One to play it on the Xbox One. It looks beautiful on the Xbox One, but you don't have the drivatars that are forced on you. You don't have the wet weather effects, which, frankly, I prefer driving on dry pavement. That way I can be consistent with my lap times. I don't like to slip and slide unnecessarily. I have, Project Gotham Racing 4 if I want that kind of a race or arcade type, simulation. But I love everything about this game. It's it looks fantastic. I think it's a nice touch taking it out of Colorado, even into the south of France. Beautiful coastlines with these wonderful drives along these cliffs and through tunnels, and then there's high-speed open areas through the countryside out in France or Italy or wherever it takes place. I'm not really sure. I think it takes place in Italy and France, kind of like right in that Nice, France area. And it supposedly is 3 times the size of the first map on, in the first Forza Horizon, which is possible. I don't know. I haven't explored everything on the map yet. It has a little billboard things, the signs you can smash to get upgrades and what have you, which I like. So I like the collectability aspect of it. I've had fun just last night, just driving around. I found the airport, just raced around in and out of the hangars and stuff. It's a lot of fun. It's wonderful to watch. It has a whole day through night cycle. The lighting changes. It's awesome when the headlights come on, your dash lights come on. You get a real thrill. This game delivers. I'm really happy with the Xbox port of this, the Xbox 360 port. I would highly recommend this. If you only have an Xbox 360, get it. If you do have an Xbox One, what are you waiting for? Get this game. If you can put up with the drivatars, then more power to you. I personally won't do it. It's a shame. Now, if they change it down the road with a patch, or they have the ability to where you can turn the drivatars off on Forza 5 or Forza Horizon 2, I would get an Xbox One. Same thing with the new Crackdown. It's got another heavy cloud-based game, which I'm not a big fan of, because then what happens when the servers are down? It's only as good as the servers, or what have you. So, to me, I have my trusty Xbox 360e, which plays this beautifully, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. I can hardly wait to unlock my favorite cars. So right now, I've only got a couple cars that I've driven, but it won't be long before I'll be winning races. And I also like the ability, like the first one, where you can kind of create the difficulty the way you want. Now, I like to leave my ABS braking on because in real life I like cars with ABS braking, but I shut off the traction control. I don't like the rewind feature at all. I shut that off, and I get like an extra 60% more bonus points in cash credits I get for doing that. So I think it's cheating. So I shut the rewind feature off. I shut off all the assist except for the anti-lock brakes, which again, you use it in real life. So that's the only reason why I use it in this. And so it makes the game more difficult, but it's a lot more fun. And I'm having just a blast with this. And it won't be long before I'll be able to buy all the cars that I want, which I can't wait. So it has my old, late 60s Corvette in here. It's got some mid 60s Corvettes. It's got my 78, Smokey and the Bandit Trans Am, which I had in my other Forza game. And so I'm anxious to get a lot of my favorite cars and Ferraris back. But this is a beautiful game, wonderful setting. Sadly, they kind of changed some of the fonts. They're kind of sterile. They got rid of the nice little icons and cartoony logos that would say Speed Demon or Near Miss or whatever. They had a nice italicized block lettering that looked nice in the first Forza Horizon. They kind of removed that. That was my only nitpick on it. It's just a little sterile in that department. But other than that, the game looks and plays wonderful. I gave it a really high score. When I'm done playing it, I'm sure I'll have to do a review of this one, but I wanted to get my impressions up as soon as possible and tell you what I liked about the game, because it's an amazing game. I had a hard time even finding this. My original GameStop that I pre-ordered this at, I couldn't get in there. The parking lot was full up, so I had to race across town and picked it up at another GameStop because I couldn't wait to get home and play it. And I wasn't about to be held up because of a technicality, so I couldn't wait to get home. I've already put a couple days into this. I was hoping to get my impressions out a little bit sooner, but this is as good as it can be. I've been very busy with work, and I haven't even had as much time to sink into Forza Horizon 2 as I'd like to. But if you're sitting on the fence, by all means get the game. You'll have a lot of fun with it. It's a wonderful racing game. The perfect mix of a good racing sim, like the original Forza Horizon or Gran Turismo, and as well as kind of an arcade racer, like Need for Speed, Hot Pursuit, or some of the other ones, even like Burnout Paradise. It's just great. You can fine-tune the game to make it the way you like it. That I like. Why they couldn't have done that on the Xbox One version with the drive guitars and shut them on and off is beyond me. But anyway, a great game, and it looks and plays fantastic on the Xbox 360. So I'd highly recommend it. Forza Horizon 2. Thanks for watching, guys, and enjoy your games, whether they're racing sims or arcade games or just old classics. Thanks.